On April 20th, 1999, the most horrific school shooting of that time happened for the whole world to see. Two high school seniors, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, changed our way of thinking of youth violence. With all of the media coverage, the world wanted to know why this happened. At first, it was believed that the motive was retaliation for bullying. This was a small part of the reason behind this horrible tragedy. Within Dave Collins' article, The Depressive and Psychopath, that he wrote in April of 2004, he explains how the FBI and its team of psychiatrists and psychologists came to understand the truth behind who these boys were. 3 months after the massacre, the FBI convened a summit in Leesburg, Virginia, that included world-renowned mental health experts, including Michigan State University psychiatrist Dr. Frank Ochberg, as well as Supervisory Special Agent Dwayne Fusler, the FBI's lead Columbine investigator and a clinical psychologist. Fusler stated, "You cannot understand why they did it until you understand what they were doing." Harris and Klebold had different motives and opposite mental conditions. Within the investigation, it is believed that Klebold was easier to determine his mental state. He was hot-headed, but depressive and suicidal. He blamed himself for his problems. Now Harris was a challenge to diagnose. His way of addressing others fooled everyone around him. Most people said he was a nice kid. Klebold was hurting inside, while Harris wanted to hurt people, Fusler said. Harris was not merely a troubled kid, the psychiatrists say. He was a psychopath. With the FBI's investigation complete, the evidence of the two boys' actions for a whole year before the massacre helps answer the question, why? FBI investigators dug through all writings by the two offenders and talked to family, victims, and friends for information towards a motive. Within the journals wrote by Harris and Klebold, it is evident that they started planning a large-scale attack on their school a whole year before the actual attack. In an article about Columbine written by Jennifer Rosenberg, quotes a passage from the front page of Harris's journal. "I hate the fucking world." Within the boys' yearbook, the two wrote passages about killing and retaliation. Also, one of the two drawed an image of a man standing with a gun, surrounded by dead bodies. The caption for this picture said, "The only reason you're still alive is because someone has decided to let you live." For a whole year, these boys were able to fool everyone around them. Parents, teachers, bosses, and even other friends had no clue what Harris and Klebold were planning. Even the weekend before the shootings, Klebold's family went for a long weekend trip to visit the college he had gotten into. His parents stated that their son did not show any signs of what he was going through or planning. This just goes to show the magnitude these teens went to conceal their plans and mental condition. Although if their parents would have just checked some writings and seen the weapons, they would have seen the signs. There were even videos made by Harris and Klebold talking about the plans and the amount of people they would kill. Klebold is seen in one of the videos boasting on inflicting the most deaths in U.S. history. They had originally planned the attack for the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. The plan Harris and Klebold constructed consisted of blowing up the school and killing everyone. As the boys arrived to school that day, dressed in black trench coats and armed to the hilt with all kinds of weapons, the first thing they did was position 2 duffel bags with propane bombs wired to blow, positioned in the cafeteria. The plan for the bombs to blow at 11:17 that morning when the most students would be in range of the blast. It is believed that 488 students might have been killed by those bombs. If the bombs would have detonated, the boys had positioned their cars in the junior and senior parking lot, basically flanking the exit from the cafeteria. Their cars were also armed with bombs. The plan was to shoot as many fleeing survivors of the school bombing. The car bombs were supposed to take out any remaining survivors and emergency personnel on scene, all while media was there and filming. And the sad thing is, we know the media would have aired the footage. That community was fortunate that Klebold was not able to arm the bombs correctly. This day would have had a much larger death toll. Now, as Harris and Klebold realized the bombs in the cafeteria were faulty, they decided to improvise. They had already placed 2 pipe bombs several blocks away in an open field, used as a distraction for the police. When the bombs went off is when the 2 boys opened fire on the students outside of the cafeteria. Most were eating lunch on the grass and enjoying the nice day. Sadly, as the shooting started, many students thought it was a senior prank and were not alarmed by the 2 seniors yielding the guns. The realization came as the excruciating pain started and they realized they were shot and might die. The boys enter the school 5 minutes later. Many students are still in class and have no idea anything is wrong. Harris and Claybold are seen walking down the north hallway, laughing while shooting at students and faculty. During the 48-minute shooting, the duo are creating chaos with pipe bombs and mocking their victims as they attack them. By the end of the shooting, 12 students, 1 teacher, are dead with 21 more injured. The shooting ended with Harris and Claybold committing suicide. The police and medics were not able to enter the school for hours, which led to the teacher, Dave Sanders, bleeding to death. With all the chaos, the police had no way of knowing that the shooters had taken their own lives. Also, the bombs caused a concern for police and civilian safety. Many had to wait for help to come. Although the 2 did commit a heinous massacre that day, it is scary to think of how bad that day would have been if they would have been better at making and setting bombs. For years, it is believed that this school shooting was due to school bullies and retaliating toward that issue. After learning the actual plan and what all was supposed to happen that day, the real reason is even more scarier. That there are kids out there that could plan this. The evil that exists in this world is unbelievable. Thank you.